Yo, do you remember the dream life you built for yourself by the time you're 25?
Yeah. Let's all laugh at that together.
Now you're 30-something and you don't have the car,
The job, the business,
the spouse, and feeling a little like a mess?
We're here to tell you you're still on track to that dream and doing just fine. I'm Beleza.
I'm Kiki.
I'm Gigi, and this is your podcast. Welcome.
Welcome to 30 and a Mess.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Beleza.
I'm Kiki.
And it's Gigi. Welcome to 30 and a Mess. And if you're here, your life is probably in shambles.
Like ours.
Welcome. So today we definitely gonna be talking about, that thing called start with a P. What was it, like the Panera,
the Panda Express?
The Panasonic.
Man, what was that thing called? You know that thing that whole thing that happened.
The Panorama?
Are y'all doing all right
The
after
piano.
that? Y'all
The
doing all
piano.
right after that P? After
Ooh, we done made it. We lost a few, but we made it.
Yeah, we did make it, man. We did make it. When did you decide to take it like seriously? Like when did it hit for you?
It hit for me real early. So of course, there was discussions and stuff about starting to shut things down, but nothing happened. And my family and I had a trip to Africa to go see my fams.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like, okay, cool. We're going to go on this trip. If anything happens, they'll probably do it after the fact when we come back because, we late for everything. And we got to Africa 2 days and a half in. And then ex-president was like, yo, we shutting the borders down. So all the Americans, y'all don't come back. It's over to you. And we was like, wait, what? What you talking about? And so we had like 24 hours to figure out flights and divvy out thousands of dollars just to get back to the States. And so it got real serious for me real quick.
Oof.
Real quick.
Yeah, them international travels at that. I can't imagine the people that was like internationally traveling during that time.
Yeah.
Everything was so chaotic.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna lie. It was a panic because like at that point they were like, well, we don't have any more flights. The only way y'all can get home is if you like fly to Canada or fly to Brazil and then find your way back to the States. We were like, what? Whoa. No, we need to find something. Like it came to the point where tickets skyrocketed to 10 G's a pop.
Whoa.
Yeah, we were like, oh, y'all wildin'. You wildin'. And then we went to the embassy. I laughed because we went to the embassy and we talked to them and it was like, so you guys heard what happened, right? Our ex-president, they were like, yeah. We was like, so what should we do? We know as much as you. You got two options. You can stay here or figure out how to get back home. We got nothing else for you. We were like, oh my gosh. And this is the embassy, y'all. I was like, he's like, yeah, we finna go home.
Well, I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, I made it back safely.
For me, I honestly didn't take it seriously until they officially shut us out of work. Because like she said, like it was talks, everybody was talking, everybody was saying this is becoming more serious. But it was nothing that was so definitive to say this is this is a real thing. Because if you watch the news always make everything seem on 10. So it's really hard to believe if something is really on 10 or is it really a 4, but they're trying to make it seem like a 10. So for me, I had went to work on that particular day of the shutdown, and literally as I was gearing up to go out in the field and start making my rounds, I got a phone call from my supervisor and was like, hey, if you are at work, go home immediately. We are going to shut down until further notice. And then the people at my office was saying the same thing, like, hey, we're just getting calls. Everybody needs to go straight home. So at that point, I was like, oh, this is serious. Like something is happening and we don't know what it is, but it's happening. So let me take my butt home.
Yeah. Well, for me, y'all know I was living out in Germany at the time. And so for me, I didn't really take it seriously. Like even like the whole punchline when they started locking stuff down, Germans are very obedient to authority. And so by like the third week, I still didn't really like take it seriously until I started craving like chicken nuggets. I was like, yo, this is what it is. Like, 'cause I was like vegan for like a few years, like three or 4 years. And I was like, yo, like if this is it, then I might as well go ahead and eat meat or whatever. Like by week 3, I was like laid out on the couch. I wasn't going nowhere. It was just really surreal because the grocery stores were the same. Like it was very quiet on the streets. There was no driving. Like it was just weird. Like, yeah, the panini press. Like I really didn't know how to like grasp what really was happening. And then like seeing in America, like how toilet tissue was like missing and like.
Yeah, what was that about?
Like,
Yo,
it was weird. It was so weird. Yeah.
Yo, let me just tell you,
Yeah.
when I came back to the States and was like, by that time everything shut down. So everybody, of course, except for essentials, groceries, and I just got back. So I didn't have anything. So I was like, all right, let me go to the store, pick up some things. Yo, I have nothing to pick up. I went right back home. I was like,
But you know who came up during that time period? So you didn't have to go pick up nothing? Amazon.
Sure did.
Let me tell you something right now.
That's how that man made trillions.
Hit billion during
They
that time period. Like they came up.
That Pandora box did them good.
It
Sure did. That was called essential working at that point. You worked at any Amazon facility. You was the only essential workers, I swear, besides nurses and doctors.
For real. They should have got paid $30 an hour.
So bad. And also we saw how essential food service workers were during that time. Because even ordering delivery, like people was still working. It was weird.
Yeah, they were charging like $10 per car.
Yes. Like, did your routine changes like before, during, and after? Like, how did you see yourself transition from in your routine from like before the Panorama, and then like during the Panorama, and then after the Panorama? Like, what was your transition like in your
so much? I think I'm still trying to transition, to be honest. But I would say, like, in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, people who know me, and I don't want to hear your mouths, but people who know me know I move a lot. Like, I'm never home. So it forced me to sit down. God said, 2-finger tap, sit that ass down. And I was like, okay. And so it actually turned me from like an extrovert into an introvert for a minute, even coming out of the Panorama.
Yeah.
So it was I think that's kind of changed my routine, because now I had to do everything at home, and then also like I'm by myself.
Yeah.
I wasn't sitting in quarantine with anybody else. So I think that changed a lot. And trying to adjust was hard, because being by yourself that long, it kind of drives you stir crazy. So I think it ended up turning me to going back to travel, but like, how do I travel safe? And so Shorty started whipping in the whip. Like, I would go visit people in different states in my car, because, we now work remote, so I could go anywhere. So I went to Memphis to visit my family there. And then I went to Florida to visit my LS there. And like, I even traveled to Connecticut. Wow. I think I traveled with Kiki to surprise my mom during the pandemia. And it was she was thankful, because we ain't see each other in a minute, but it was tough. And I say after 2 years of being remote, then jobs want to go back, and my job was going back and forth. And I was blessed for 2 years to work remote, but then they went hybrid this year. And so I think I'm still trying to adjust, because it's like, okay, now we going back. How do I just having all the freedom that I did do, but also like at the same time give myself a different type of structure?
Yep, I agree. I definitely agree. I think I had a little bit of the same structure, except for the whole going stir crazy part of being by myself. So for me, people who know me know that I'm pretty much a workaholic as well. Like I'm always working or always doing something for the job. And I work my best at work. Like, I'm not one of those people, or haven't been one of those people in a while, that could just stay home and work and be okay. Like, I get more stuff done at the job.
Mhm.
So I'm always there, or I'm always picking up a second job, trying to make ends meet and things like that. So that was like my routine before. Once it happened, going completely virtual was extremely difficult for me. Which I know is probably going to be surprising for a lot of people, but I could not really find a good balance in terms of staying on top of my work from home, because in my mind, home is where I rest.
Mhm.
That's where I go to bed. That's where I relax at. So for me to have to now take my rest place into a workplace was very difficult for me to transition. Not only that, but I also was going through a breakup at that time, and trying to maneuver being in the same space of somebody that I was in love with and no longer having to have that relationship. That became very difficult. And then I tried to venture out on my own and moving, and that was a huge transition during. A lot of stuff happened.
I moved in with Kiki. Wow. I moved in with Kiki at that time too.
Like, I did a lot of transitions during the Pandora's box. So it was just I actually was in the process of basically finding who I was, because I was so used to like just moving and never sitting down. It made me sit down and actually get to know myself a little bit better. And I enjoyed that. I actually, even with all the changes and the craziness that was going on, I actually started to really enjoy just being home and having to work from home, but not having to do as much because I'm virtual now and I can't go out in the field into people's houses and stuff like that. And for people who don't know, I am in law enforcement, so a lot of times I have to go to people's houses. So, I actually enjoyed being the solidarity of it, of having to now recluse into myself, having to do things on my own, learning what it means to be by myself. I really enjoyed it. I started taking more walks outside and being one with nature. I wasn't doing that before. And I realized those were very calming moments for me. Now, after everything is it's not over, but it's over. But now, like she said, we're kind of hybrid at work. So it's mostly virtual, but we still have to go out in the field and do office work and stuff like that. And now that's difficult for me to go back to that dynamic. Now I'm like, well, why I gotta show up? Why I gotta be here? I like being to myself. I like being home. I like having more rest times if I can. And I'm finding myself starting to pick back up that workaholic mind, and I don't think that's healthy. So I'm trying to find the balance of where I was during, which I found to be my more healthier self, which is so interesting to say, and still being able to maneuver in this world of having to go back to work, because I'm not feeling going back to work full time. I'm just not.
Say it for the people in the back.
And I also still picked up the habits of still being one with nature and like going for my walks and stuff, because that put me in a healthy mindset.
Yeah.
That's understandable. For me, definitely before the pen pal, like I had like a really good eating regimen. I had a really good like workout regimen. Work regimen was really good. So I worked I was an operations assistant at the time. So basically I do everything to make sure the business has what it needs. It runs. Like I work on all like the financial part plus the scheduling, like, like all the background stuff for the business. So I was just coming out of a position of being bartender, so I was really kind of done with people in general. So for me, it was like a reprieve to have to withdraw inside and be inside. Thank goodness I wasn't living alone at the time in Germany. I had my roommate. He's an amazing guy, very special place in my heart. And then we had the dog named Dobby, cute little fuzzball. He's like a marshmallow. He's like really fluffy like a teddy bear. So it was nice having that. And I never really relaxed. Anyone who knows me knows that when I'm on, I'm on. And when I'm off, I'm completely off. Like I'm the kind of person who could lay down and be asleep. Like when I say I'm going to sleep, I lay down and I'm asleep. That's it. So
Big
like
facts.
during the
facts.
so during the PayPal, I just was like laying, like I was able to luxuriate and laying down, watching movies all day, relaxing. So for me, I really enjoyed it, but it definitely helped me see that I wanted more for my life than just being single and successful. And then after, yo, the struggle to pull my trash back together, like I couldn't eat right. I didn't want to work out. Like I gained so much weight. So I was like I was like 195, 190 at the least. Yeah, I'm like 234 now. Like, and I don't want to move. It annoys me to move. Like, I don't want to eat right. I want to just eat trash and junk. Like, I just want to just eat crazy. And I'm finally getting to the point where I'm caring about what I'm putting into my body again. Like, I'm back to my routine of working out. Like, I might not work out every day, but right now I'm working out at least 3 times a week, which is big for me because I used to work out every single day.
Yeah, I feel you. I worked out like 3 times a week. I will say, if I was in a balance, kind of like where you were at, backwards. So during the paella, right? I actually ended up going vegan.
Wow.
So, which was really dope. Like I
Wow.
loved it. And then when we started getting, I guess when I started getting back into my routine, because after a year in, I was like, all right, let me try this meat life. But now, to your point, it's like this is where I'm trying to find the balance. So it's like, you know, I don't feel good the way that I did when I was vegan. And even though I was vegan, I stopped working out. And I was like, imagine if I was I stayed vegan and worked out. So now I'm trying to find that balance of how do I do both at the same time now. But it felt amazing. I felt like I looked good. Like I was moving and grooving. But and to your point, like that thought process while you're in the panorama, like it hit different. It does.
It does.
A
Like
lot of
that big
ended up
pause, it helps you see like what matters. Cause like there were so many people who could not, like there's a lot of Americans who lived in the area I lived in. They couldn't go home to their families. Like people were losing family members that they could not go see. Like, they couldn't go like say their final goodbyes. And that for me, like that was big. I was like, damn, like I can't imagine being in that person's position, but I also can't imagine where I am. Like I have like if I go today or tomorrow, I have no legacy. I have nothing. I have no one mourning me except for my mom and my sister. My dad is already gone, but like, you know, like it's for me that highlighted like how much more I wanted something. I want something more. I want something more. So like how did you feel about the isolation and like for you two, you both lived alone. Like what did that feel like? Like what did that
Well, I didn't live alone, but
she never did. She had like a month by herself.
The goal was to live alone, but it didn't happen that way.
I went left. Well, shoot, I might as well go ahead and entertain that. So the first year I lived by myself. And so, like I said, after maybe 6 months, I started going a little haywire. And so I told myself, like, mentally, it just wasn't good for me because I started thinking about everything. To your point, am I good enough? Am I worth this? Is this going on? Like, what am I doing? And I always promised myself, if I ever got downtime, I was like, God, if you ever provide me more downtime again, because I remember one time, 6 months, I was out of work. I had money stacked up, so I was chilling, but I did nothing but binge watch shows. And so when I went back to work, I was like, that was a waste of 6 months. God, if you give me another opportunity, I'm going to use it to the best of my abilities. So he did that. So it was kind of a backward blessings in a sense, because I ended up working on my credit score. I ended up going out to contract with my house. And then my best friend, Kiki, was like, bro, since you're building your home, there's no point of paying more rent. Move in with me. And I was like, nah, sis. Nah, I can't do that. Can't do that. And, you know, after much conversations and how expensive creating a house is, you know what? I might take you up on that offer. And so
move on over.
I was like, sis, I'm coming through. And I was really grateful. But I think it, you know, it also showed who was there for you and who wasn't there for you too, you know? And like I said, it was a backward blessing for me. It was really a backward blessing.
Yeah, because you know I'm gonna hold my friend down. Y'all already know.
She did. When I say I am forever indebted,
she's really not.
Forever indebted, and she says that, but I don't care. I know in my mind. My mind.
She owes me nothing.
Nah, like that's the true friend right there, y'all.
Nice.
Yes. So for me, I was never in isolation. So like I said, at that time I was going through a breakup and I did venture out to get my own place, but I actually think it was all in God's timing, because had the breakup not happened, I would not have been able to get my own place to help out my friend who was able to prosper.
Yeah.
And then in turn get my relationship back and am now happily engaged. So it was like almost like certain things had to transpire for me to help out my friends.
Yeah.
And if I had been stayed in that relationship, I don't know if I would have been able to help them in that capacity. Not saying that they still couldn't stay with me, but it probably wouldn't be a certain style of comfortability to it if I was still in my relationship.
Yeah.
So I think God made certain things in a certain way so that I was able to not just help her out, but help out 3 other friends along the way in terms of me staying by myself, but providing space for them to be able to come in and not have to worry about paying lump sums of money towards rent and bills and all this stuff, be able to save and prosper and move forward without putting me in a bind.
Yeah, she was truly a vessel. She was a God's vessel, for real.
Yes, because I know a lot of people gonna think I'm crazy, but I did not allow anybody to pay rent when they came and stayed with me. They just had to worry about their food and maintaining basically like the essentials of the household, meaning like toilet paper, paper towels. They cleaned the house and all that stuff, and I paid all the bills. So all I had to do was worry about work, and I had to worry about maintaining the house while they were maintaining the house.
Yeah, I was like, sis, say less. You need me to clean the bathrooms? I got you. No, I'm tired.
And everybody knows I hate cleaning the bathroom.
She's like, I'm not gonna say no. I was like, say less, sis. Say less. You ain't gotta say nothing else.
Y'all, I will clean everything in the house but that bathroom. I can't stand cleaning the bathroom.
For real. I said say less. But I think, like I said, I think that's why my house now has just so many blessings attached to it. And so,
and it's a beautiful home. It really is. Like, I'm so glad she had the opportunity to just stack and get what she need for it, because if she was paying rent on top of trying to stack for this, I don't think it would have came out the way it did, or be able to, grab all the stuff that was falling apart and put it back together.
Yeah, for real. And they raised the price on me, y'all. They raised the price on me.
Oh yeah, because the Pangea was trying to stack up on wood and metals and stuff. Like, what are y'all doing?
The pajama was disrespectful, and they're like, well, labor costs, so it went up $15,000 on me.
Yo, that's crazy. The polka dot had everybody out here tripping about everything. Like, everybody out here tripping about everything. Like the demand, the supply chain. Like, just wild,
crazy.
It's still a problem now. It's still a problem now. Like, who buying a house right now?
Well, actually, right now in New York, the house prices are dropping like flies, honey.
Are they really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, honey. Like, they dropping like flies. Because when I first moved here in November, it was like for a 2-bedroom was like 1.5 million in the area where I'm living at. So them prices are dropping like hotcakes.
Like hotcakes. Hold on, let me go do some research
right. Look up on it. But yeah, like, what was like virtual reality? Like, how did it change your life and change like events, like how we experience life around us?
Oh, let me tell you, these corporate jobs, they lying to you. Because a lot of times they're like, well, you can't do that at home. That's not allowed, or it doesn't make sense, or that's not possible. The pajama made sure that it proved everyone wrong. Okay, like, it proved every single company wrong as to how you can maneuver, even in stores, like the essential workers, like, it showed them how you can do things. Or in restaurants now, there's not even menus. All you have to do is do a QR code. I think it created inventions too. It was very it made us innovative. But can't nobody say nothing. I think that's my biggest thing. That was my biggest thing from
I absolutely agree. Like, it made us hop out of the matrix. In a sense. Like, we were living in such a way because we were told this was the only way to live.
Wow.
And once the the Panorama happened, it was like it opened up a whole different door that we didn't see because they told us it didn't exist. It was like, I don't know if you guys ever seen like those secret bookshelves in movies where you hit a button and it all of a sudden opens and they're like, whoa. It's almost as if that's what happened in the world. So all these jobs that said, oh, you can't work from home, and when you're asking for more money, is either you take what you get or you leave. All of a sudden, this is available. All of a sudden, you figure this out, how we can maneuver at home and not have to be in your face.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, these meetings could be done in an email. All of us, you know what I mean? Like, and not only that, but it gave us a sense of what life really is. Like, we're not supposed to be working our lives away.
Yeah, we're not robots. We're
absolutely not robots. So it doesn't take me 8 hours to really complete my job if you give me the syllabus. Tell me all that I need to get done today, and I probably can get it done in 4 hours. You can still pay me for my 8, and I can still have a quality of life of working out, cooking, cleaning, taking care of myself, and being able to tune into my favorite show every once in a while.
Yeah, and that cut a lot of gas costs. You know what I'm saying? Like giving people's time back because they didn't have to travel.
Yes. And not only that, but think of all the people that became entrepreneurs during the
it exploded entrepreneurship.
Like it skyrocketed because people had more time to sit and think and not live in the matrix. And like you said, traveling, people figuring out they can travel, people who have got their finances in order. I'm going to tell y'all right now, even though I'm a little bit back in shambles now, but during that time, I was working my main job, but I also had a side job, and I paid off almost $15,000 in debt. I would have never even been able to do that if I didn't work out a plan for myself, because all I had to do was sit down and think about it.
Wow. Shorty dropped like 25K for me.
Yeah,
during like 25K.
Yeah, during that time period, like they had to get us back to work because we was thinking way too much. Or we started looking at how you treat us as humans. We started looking at healthcare issues. We started looking at it. It was like, oh no, we gotta get these people back to work.
Yeah,
we gotta get them back
to work. On your hand.
For me, I like the way that like virtual reality, like number one, like people were doing like brunches on Zoom, verses popped up, like everybody was verses. I love how like the meetings, the business meeting, like you don't even have to have your camera on, you have your drawers on, you sit and just answering questions. Like I like that they really try to incorporate a way for us to still remain connected without being physically there. So like that for me was like number one. Like my job, yes, I was working in like the food and beverage industry, but when you become in management, you don't have to actually be there. And we also had shut down because, like I said, Germany is very obedient. So if they said like we shutting down everything, we shutting down everything. So if you weren't like a hot food place, like an Italian restaurant or like a Greek restaurant, you were shut down. Like you was not going to be open. So for me, like the virtual reality was like huge because like it allowed me to see one, how we interact and how important face-to-face is, and two, how we will be able to maneuver no matter what happens and how face-to-face changes. So like for me, like it was just amazing seeing that, like just events and
going back to your point of like the verses and the DJs. I'm a part of this, other business, and like one of our main business partners, she would literally host like virtual Zoom parties. And they're like, get your wine out, and it was a vibe. It was a vibe. So to your point, that was fun for me because I felt like I dressed up at home without the heels, but I still had an amazing time.
Absolutely.
Honestly, the biggest part that made me literally feel the way you guys are feeling in terms of like, oh, this is fun, like doing the virtual. I don't know if you guys remember the TikTok challenge, Don't Rush, where girls had like a girls' night out, but they did it virtually. That was the turning point for me to know that, oh, there's so much stuff we can do doing this through social media and online and still get that feeling of being out and about.
I felt, but I did feel like they was trying to Ready Player One us. Like they really was trying to make us.
Oh yeah.
Over like virtual reality. I'm not even gonna lie about that. Like,
for real,
we got to be careful with these jokers because they don't play.
Absolutely.
So like life after the push and pee. Like how do you feel you could have kept or changed from that?
Okay. So I would say from the pizzeria, this is what I would have kept. I would have kept the I honestly would have kept it. I would have done it hybrid like to where we still, because for instance, your perfect example was your verses, right?
Yep.
Like now verses is on stage, they got an audience, and
Yep.
now it's kind of like we're there with them. I felt like it took away from the experience. And so I would have still kept versus how it was during the pizzeria. I was not having to go back to work. I don't think, to your point, it took us out of the matrix. Like we shouldn't have to. I should be able to chill on an island and still get my work done.
Yes.
Or visit my mom and still get my work done. Or visit family or visit my friend in Germany and still get my work done. Okay, that's pushing it because the time difference. But my point is that like as long as you get your work done and you don't abuse it, and a lot of people really weren't abusing it. They were still making sure their work was done. So then when they got to play, they played hard.
Yeah.
But I think there's just a lot of things we realize that we don't need to make everything so strict. And if we keep things more lighthearted, people become people and human.
Yep.
And so that's what I would have kept. What I could have done without, you might have to come back to me on that.
For me, I might be I'm a little different. And I don't even necessarily think that my thought on this is a positive thought, but honestly, I wish we just stayed in solidarity. I mean, yes, the streets were empty. Yep. Yes, things weren't all the way up to par. Like they were still trying to figure out the system, but I honestly liked how empty the world looked.
I agree.
For once. I agree. It was just it's just so much going on, and I'm very much an introvert in a certain aspect because I get anxiety with crowds a lot, but just like the world was cleaning itself, like things were better naturally in the environment around us. Now I know for some people it did play with their mental health, not being able to be with people. So, like she said, maybe having a hybrid of it where it's like, hey, everything is virtual, but you're still allowed to travel to see your family, or you're still able to have certain gatherings, but nobody's really supposed to be like on, things are not going to be bustling like that the way it was. And I don't necessarily think that's a positive thought, but that it just did so much for me. Like it just made me see the world a lot differently when it was quiet.
Yeah. I like that. I like that you brought that up because like being out in Europe when the I'm about to say the word.
It triggered you. It triggered you, Gigi.
I got triggered. I'm triggered. During the profile, when it started to loosen up a little bit, I loved how clean like everything was. Like to Kiki's point, like Venice water is usually like really nasty and murky, but it was like beautiful. It was blue. It was gorgeous.
Wow.
And like traveling was so much better because in Europe the borders are open, so you can travel throughout Europe without having to worry about like the like nonsense. Like you don't have to worry about a lot of like red tape when you're traveling. You can travel from country to country and it will be like driving next door. Like it's not like a big deal. And I liked that because there was a lot of people like crowding the airports. The prices were super, super cheap. I mean, it's already cheap to travel over there, but girl, like they were dirt cheap. Like
here too,
practically giving away the tickets for you to travel.
Yeah, I was like $100 round trip.
Yep. Yep. So for me, what I would keep is I would definitely keep the hybrid type of lifestyle because I like having the option to be at home. Like I love that. Like I love my own space. I love my own energy. Like I really do feel like for a lot of people, it created a sense of sanity because like don't forget America is very capitalistic and they're very much so work. Like they work even on holidays. Like being in Europe, when I tell you they take their break, like there's stuff shut down on Sunday. It's shut down on Sunday. Like if you were mowing your lawn or doing laundry, the polar side will come to your house and let you know, like, no, like this is not okay. Um, so
Real.
seeing that be like the priority for you to take a break all over the world,
Was
that was
beautiful.
very inspiring because like that's the kind of lifestyle I
Beautiful.
want. Um I want a very nice, struggle free, stress free lifestyle.
Yeah. During the Panega, uh I feel like, honestly, like I truly feel like people stop to see people.
Yeah.
Even though your
Yes.
faces were more so glued to the I guess TV or to the camera more than ever, it still stops people. Because to your point, the only way y'all can enjoy other people is you have to be outside.
Yep.
And so, in order to be outside and see people, it's like when you saw somebody, you appreciated it 10 times more
Yeah.
than what you would before it, before the
I feel you on that.
perfecta.
Even though we couldn't even see each other's whole face, we just saw eyes.
Got excited.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
What do you feel America as a whole could have done better? Like
Oof,
in
maybe
general.
everything.
everything. First of all, okay, let's go back to when it got real for me, right? So, when it got real for me and we had to travel back to America,
Mhm.
we had to go because we were afraid that they might shut down the borders from Europe or
Mhm.
anything like that. We didn't want to get stuck in Europe. So
Mhm.
we went all through Africa to get back to America.
Wow.
So we left, went to Ethiopia, did a layover. So we stood the night. They actually paid for our hotel.
Wow.
Stayed the night Ethiopia. Shout out to Ethiopia Airlines. Okay. So we did a night there.
Mhm.
And then from there we went to the Ivory Coast. And then from there we ended up back in America. But when I tell you, in order to get through all the spots, we went to one other place, but I don't think we got off the plane. To get to all those spots, they temperature checked us, they checked our credentials, let us kept popping. When I said it was like free flowing, we hit the States
Mhm.
and they stopped us for 3 hours.
Yeah, girl, the states be on some trash,
But let
man.
me tell you something. We thought they were gonna scan us. They was gonna have hazmat try to check
Mhm.
us. When I said
Mm-mm.
they did the same exact thing that all the other countries did, but it took them 3 hours what they did in
Mhm.
5 minutes. Oh, that pissed
Mhm.
me off. That made me realize that we're not as advanced as we think we are. And mind you, these are the so-called quote unquote third world countries,
Yeah.
but they got their shit together way better than America did.
Yeah.
That's all JFK did was do a temperature check. That made me mad. Like we really thought they was gonna ask us mad questions, what countries we came from, what countries we traveled from. They was gonna scan us up and down, and that's all they did. And then they said, "Okay, you're free to go." Whoo, that made me tight. I was tight. I was tight.
Oh, baby.
Ooh, I was tight.
Yo, like
So,
traveling outside America versus traveling inside America is something other else. Like
It's something else.
they're way more efficient outside of America.
Yes.
I'm sorry to say it, but
Yes.
they're way.
no, I mean, I tell people all the time, if you've never traveled outside the US, please do it. Because you would understand that US ain't what it is.
Yeah. It's nice. And don't get me wrong, the passport is power. The US passport is
Power.
power. You can step in any facility with that joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's like the black card of black cards.
Yeah.
But when I tell you life is so much easier outside of America, it is so much easier outside of America.
Yeah.
It really is. For me, America could have done everything better. Everything. Like I felt like the traveling was crazy. The way they handled the panini bread, crazy. The way they handled the hospitals, crazy. The way they treated the essential workers, crazy. The information they was pushing out, crazy. The counts of the deaths, crazy. The way they pushed it out on media, absolutely insane. Like I felt like every step of the way, America was number 1,000. compared to anybody else. Like, it was like, what are we doing? Like, what are you talking about?
Yo, number 1,000.
Like, I just feel like they did not handle anything about this situation at all. And I know nobody now, there's only a handful of people that has ever lived through a Panorama before.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that the people who were trying to handle the situation has never lived through this before, has never seen this before, and didn't have the steps in terms of what to do, but they dropped the ball so hard in terms of just taking care of their people and trying to figure out a better way to handle this. Like, if you look around the entire world, everybody was taken care of except for Americans.
Yeah.
And we were dropping like flies.
Yeah.
Dropping like flies, like to the point that when the rest of the world had a handle on it, we were still dropping hard. And that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that contributes to Americans being way more independent too, and like having like the freedom of speech and having that freedom of mind. Because a lot of places, I don't care what nobody says. Yes, America has its flaws, but we can speak out without being dragged in the street and killed. Like,
that's true.
Like, there is so many countries you cannot speak up. Like, you have to be obedient.
Very true. Very true.
There's a level of selflessness that comes with other countries that America doesn't have to deal with. So I think that's what also took a toll on Americans not being able to get back to recover as quickly as other countries. Like I said, Germany is very obedient. And so when the government says, okay, we shutting down, this, guess what happens? The people listen to that.
Yeah, I will say one thing.
America, they're like, oh, we shutting down. No, I'm free. This is against my free will. I ain't trying to hear that.
Yeah, they want to fight everything. It's like my word is entitled. We're entitled.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We're entitled.
Yes.
We're entitled. Yep. So it's like, I don't have to fight this, but you know what? Because I'm entitled that I can, I'm gonna do it.
And that's a shame, because our privilege is what was killing us.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. That's wild, right?
I agree.
Also, they could have did a better job with the whole distribution of the vaccination. I don't care.
Oh, let's talk about it.
That stuff was not helping anybody but these big corporations that had invested in it. Because like when I was overseas, they had this rule. They was like, okay, you can not get vaccinated, but this is your rule for you if you don't want to get vaccinated. This is your rule for you if you want to get vaccinated. And this is your rule for you if you want to return to work but don't want to vaccinate. Like, they had different stipulations for everyone. So like the unvaccinated, okay, you can do unvaccination, but you have to get tested 24 hours before you come into the restaurant, and you have to get a temperature when you get there. That was the only like rule, and they had test centers everywhere, so they wanted to make sure everyone was safe. And then the people who were vaccinated, you didn't have to get the test 24 hours, but when you showed up, you do got to take your temperature, and everyone had to keep their mask on until they were seating into their specific areas, and they had people spaced out in restaurants. Like, it was very organized. Like, no one had to produce a fake vaccination card. Like, there was none of that. Like, it was none of that. Well, if you don't want to get vaccinated, we forcing you to get vaccinated. We're gonna pay you over here. If you get vaccinated, we pay for this. But if you over here, we you got access to this. Like, no, it was none of that. Like, it was.
The thing is with America is they start threatening people. They feel like I have to threaten you in order
you'll lose your job if you don't get vaccinated.
You'll lose your job. Or to your point, we're gonna pay you this, and that, or you can't come back on campus, even though I paid you $50K to come here for the semester or for the year. You know what I'm saying? You got me fucked up. You got me messed up. But to your point, I think the thing that did also suck with America was, okay, you get vaccinated, you can still get on the plane. You don't get vaccinated, you do a temperature check, but you still come on the plane. It just everything that they were telling people to do and what they couldn't do and threatening their whole lives. You still mixed and mingled everyone. And then on top of that, it was like people who thought they were vaccinated felt like Superman. Hold up.
Yep, they were treating people bad, man. They were treating people who were unvaccinated bad.
Yeah, like, again, people was just turning people against people. It was just
it was crazy. Also, I think that what highlighted for me, what really annoyed me was like, okay, why is a person being unvaccinated able to threaten the life of a person who is vaccinated. Like, never in the history of my life have I ever seen that. Like, if I have the chickenpox vaccination, guess what? I'm not gonna get chickenpox because I'm vaccinated.
There you go.
We have to change the definition of the word vaccination because of the situation. Like, that's crazy. Like, everyone was jumping in on the vaccination. Kodak was trying to jump into it. Johnson and Johnson, vaccination. Like, these are businesses that had nothing to do with medical.
I'm like, if you don't go make some diapers,
yeah, like, baby powder is running low. What are you doing? Like, like, it was.
People still looking for formula. Focus on the formula.
Right.
No, and that's only in America. Everybody else don't have a shortage of formula. You know that, right? Like,
that's and I think that's what kills me too. I think that's what kills me. And then you also have to realize, like, we are a heavy imported, like, dependent.
Everything we do is imported. Yep.
It's like heavily dependent on importation. And so it's like, humble yourselves because y'all ain't even got resources, my guy. Let's humble ourselves.
Even if we do, who gonna work it? Who gonna go out there and work? Because nobody want to work. Especially now, we got all these people who became entrepreneurs. Now they're suddenly they can't date somebody who work a 9 to 5.
Time.
Yo, we're gonna have to parking lot that one.
Yeah,
we're definitely coming back to that one.
We're gonna have to wrap this up, actually. But any closing remarks?
Yo, next time there's a paraphernalia, make sure y'all have y'all money right to buy stocks because the stock. Like, make sure you have, and if they give you a stimulus. If they give you a stimulus, do not spend it on no BS.
I would tell, like, for me, when I got that money, I put it straight towards debt. But again, I was on a mission.
Yeah,
was on a mission.
Yep.
I would tell people either put it towards debt or investment.
Yep.
Or split it. You know what I'm saying? Or split it. You know, do that whole whole investment rule where you put a certain percentage towards savings, a certain percentage towards investments, a certain percentage over debt. But and tithes. Don't forget tithes.
Oh, don't forget tithes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or giving to a if you don't believe in tithes, but like just giving it away to a philanthropy that you really.
Because you can write that off on your taxes when you donate. So
write it off. Well, I guess y'all ain't gotta go home, but y'all can check our social media outlets because we don't need you engaging in no other podcast but ours. But thank y'all for tuning in. We love y'all. Again, check out our social media outlets. 30NMS. That's 30ANDAMESS on all social media platforms.
Yes.
We will check you on the next episode.
Thank you guys for tuning in with us. We appreciate y'all. Bye.
and then I'll cut it off there. But this was long. So right
It's
now
still,
it's showing about 60 minutes.
that's good. That's still
That
good.
is good. But remember, like we probably took 10 minutes before to start. And then
Yeah.
again, I'll probably cut a lot of things. Well, not cut content, but
Yeah, like just actually like
clean it
condensing
up.
like things that like
Yeah.
taking out dead space, taking out like
Yeah.
we get you, we feel you.
Okay, cool.
That was a good session though. Like I really did enjoy this podcast.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
I
it
was.
flowed much better. It flowed
Yeah.
much better.
Okay. Also, since I have y'all on here just for content for social media, can we just say a whole bunch of different P words?
That was funny, yo. We was cracking up. So we're gonna say a whole bunch of people right now.
Yeah. So Jerry, you start. Like, how do you feel about and then you go ahead and start.
All right. How do you feel about the paraphernalia?
The pizzeria?
The panini bread.
The Polaroid.
The paradox.
The Pangea.
The peninsula.
The polygraph.
The pop off.
The pizza. The punchline.
Ooh.
PayPal. The pen pal.
The
profile. Which
the Panora.
The panoramic.
The Pedira. The patata. The pachetta.
The Panda Express.
What's that one called? The provolone.
The pastrami.
The pasta.
The Pandora box.
The Power Patch.
The panay. The panay.
The pooch.
Oh man, that was good. Thanks, y'all. I think I got what I need.
Thank you.
I got what I needed. Oh, that was a good second episode. That's
It
a good
was.
episode.
It was. It flowed very well.
I did.
I think we're getting kind of used to each other and talking with each other.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I think that's happening.
It's happening. For real. And the way that I edited the first one, it flows so well. Like it really flows. Like y'all gonna have to take the time to listen to it because it's a good 45 minutes. That's what I'm saying. Editing it is a bitch because think of it being 45 minutes, but I'm going back every minute.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But
and then stopping and playing, making sure the story makes sense and then going, yep.
Yeah. But I'll have it. I'll have that one done at least tonight. And then these two, hopefully I'll have it by Friday. Also, we need to put into one of the coming up episodes of shootings. I think we need to talk about shootings.
Yeah. But it's so crazy because I feel like school shootings started when we were younger. Like Columbine, I feel like Columbine, wherever everyone pronounced it.
Yeah, that was the biggest. That was the biggest one.
Started this whole situation.
Yeah, and then the Sandy Hooks.
Yo, Sandy Hook was a top notch because like it was kindergartners and it was like this dude who the mother like prepared him to be able to shoot and he was like mentally challenged. So
but I think she was also an administrator or a teacher at the school. Like that.
She need her ass beat.
And it was on my birthday, so I can never forget it.
She need her ass beat, yo.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I'll let you go, but that's one of those things like, we'll implement when we can, but by the time we premiere, it's
Yeah, so our next meeting, are we going to talk about the other topics for the next month or
we can Sunday?
Are we going to do this one as an emergency topic? Like
it's an not really because we're not it's still going to be probably like if anything a month after, even if we were to put it in after our first episode. So
yeah.
Yo, it's so crazy. Like they got more attention on Will Smith slapping freaking Chris Rock than you do on the Buffalo or on the Texas situation. Like that's
because I was like, and I haven't been on social media, but somebody my LSs had texted to me. I was like, what are y'all talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And then they sent it. I was like, oh my gosh.
Right.
It's like we can't have one day where, and again, it goes back to now we're back in chaos.
Yeah.
It goes back to us back in chaos when the world was so quiet and silent.
Mm-hmm.
Sure was.
And people thought something like that would have created more chaos, and it didn't. Even when it came down to the the George Floyd shooting and all the looting and stuff, it still wasn't as crazy as how the world is right now.
Yeah.
Russia ready to pop off and shit. Like, it's crazy.
Ready to pop off. He popped off.
He
He's
did
like, no,
pop.
we're not gonna invade. No, we good. We ain't gonna invade. No, we
Yo,
good.
pull up, son. He called all these
Yeah,
people.
we at the border now. What's good?
What?
We at the border. Open up.
Funny, not funny though, but alright, y'all.
All right.
Good. I love y'all.
Have a good love you too.
Y'all gonna listen though once I send y'all the.
Of course.
Oh yes, definitely. Y'all, I listen to podcasts, so
Okay, and then give me y'all critiques, or if there's something like, hey, between this time and this time, you may want to flush this out or something.
Okay, bet.
Yeah,
Cool.
kind of like checks and balance.
Bet. And our next meeting will be Sunday.
Be there.
At 10 o'clock, right?
10 a.m.
So y'all know I leave this weekend, right? Like I'm leaving Saturday to head to Miami to get on my cruise, right?
Oh, it's this Saturday.
I mean, I'm gonna meet, but I might still be like a little fucked up. But I'm gonna be.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you are like, we'll send Cliff Notes.
Yeah,
we'll send Cliff Notes. We'll just consider you on vacation.
Nah, I want to be a part of the meeting. I might not be all the way there, but I'm gonna be there.
No, that's fine. But I'm saying, even if not, like, you'll still get Cliff Notes. Because there's gonna be times I'm not gonna make it, and there's gonna be times Kiki ain't gonna make it.
Sure not.
Yeah. All right. I love you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your week. Stay connected.
Oh, you sound like a T-Mobile. Sound like a whole T-Mobile right commercial.
What?
Yeah, keep in touch. Don't be a stranger.
I love you, Jerry.
You don't want going to Miami. Shit.
During a Pangea.
For real.
I thought the punchline was over. That's not monkeypox is upon us, but I thought that was a STD.
Oh my God, I said Lord. Yeah, they said it. They said it's sexually transmitted, but I was just like, Lord, please. That's what they're saying. But I'm just like, Lord, please, God. We still trying to heal.
Did someone? What? Who? Someone had sex with a monkey?
Girl, don't even bring no shit like that up because they thought that AIDS came from monkeys. So let's not.
Oh y'all, serious thing. Since I still have y'all on here and it's still recording, can we take like 22 seconds to do we dedicate this episode to everyone who's been affected, lost lives to the pandemic. It'll be the only time we say.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
This is the only time we say it. Yep.
Yeah. And then we'll actually do it in the beginning before our theme song.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'll start.
Thanks, Cheer.
So thank you all for tuning in tonight. We want to just take a moment and actually give tribute to all of those who lost their lives and lost loved ones during the pandemic. Although this episode will be more lighthearted, we just wanted to take a moment to, just appreciate and cherish those around us that we still have, as well as those that we have lost.
Thanks, Jerry. Okay, Kiki.
I'm sorry.
Because I'm probably gonna mix it. I'm mix it all together.
Yeah.
What's the word? What are we saying?
I'll let
pandemic.
Yeah, I'll let you think. I'll go before I lose my train of thought because Jerry helped me out. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Tonight's episode is dedicated to everyone who may have been affected by the pandemic, to all the essential workers, to everyone who lost their lives, for everyone who was on the front line. We thank you. We appreciate you. And those who we've lost, we haven't forgotten you. And we celebrate you every single day in all that we do.
That made it so much worse for me. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I can cut what me and Jerry have.
Hold on, let me give me a sec. Give me a sec.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna send you something.
Okay, that works. Just make sure it's clear like this.
Okay, I'll record it on my computer.
Yeah, even if you do it. Yeah, even if you record it via Anchor, because you can record it via Anchor and send it to me too. So.
Oh, even better. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, so when you hang up with us, just record it via Anchor, and then you can download it and send it.
Okay, bet.
All right, thanks, guys, for real this time. I'm not gonna ask for nothing more. Nothing more. I'm gonna hang up.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.